Hey kids, Dan the Dad here, and you're watching Shootin' Shit. And if you change that channel, you're grounded.
What's up, buddy?
Oh my God, dude. Everything. Life is wonderful. Everything's great. My car blew up yesterday. The alternator shit the bed. I had to fucking go all over the place. Dropped $611. And I got to go pick it up in the morning. But everything's awesome. Life is good. I get to hang out with my homeboy DDJ for
Aw,
5-star takes. One of my favorite things to do. How you doing, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You know, the weekend's almost here. One of my favorite weekends of the year is coming up. I got family coming in starting. As of when this episode drops, it'll be later this evening, and they'll get to
Hell
see
yeah.
some people, and then get to spend Father's Day with the wife and the kid, going to one of my happy places, and that's American Family Field up in Milwaukee,
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Hell
and
yeah.
that's
You fucking went full in, man. You're all into baseball now. It's great.
Oh, it's just been amazing. And before we kind of start going off the rails, before we even play the intro video, let's play the intro video and we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about your
Yeah.
experience at an indie show
Oh
and
fuck
talk
yeah,
about
dude.
some of the weapons and stuff. So guys, stay
Let's
tuned. We
go.
got a we got an
Let's
action-packed episode. So
fucking
like you said,
go, baby.
let's fucking go.
God, that
Yeah,
fucking video. Oh, it
yeah.
gets me pumped.
Well,
I'm
just
so excited.
wait till we kind of unveil the new look here in a few weeks once we get some the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
And that so a little bit of going back to what we were talking about before I played the intro video. You talked about me getting all into baseball, and it's been really great. I went to game. I started went to my first baseball game, Major League Baseball game in Milwaukee in probably about 6 years, I want to say, last summer with my friend Patrick, and is my probably my first actual professional baseball game in that time frame too. And my nephew, and I took my two nephews to another game, and then my one nephew and I we it's really helped our bond and stuff because we talk a lot about baseball, the Brewers, and we've gone to a number of games together and that. So it's been really great. I really enjoy watching baseball. There's a lot of really good young talent out there. I'm a huge fan of the pitch clock because it makes the games move along and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's great watching baseball, man.
I've been a baseball fan since I was a kid. I've actually in a bit of a baseball remission since 2020. I haven't watched a game. Last game I watched was in 2019. Full game I watched. Just because the A's have been breaking my heart. But I've been a fan since day one. Milwaukee trivia for you. A little known fact that you might actually know, but you probably don't. You know the movie Major League?
Yes, I do. That they actually filmed.
Yeah, there
They
you
did the
go.
filming, the in stadium filming at the old county stadium.
Yeah, and my uncle was there for all of those because they wanted locals to come out to fucking fill the stands for the filming.
Hmm.
And also when they go to the rich pitcher's house or whatever the dickhole's
Oh,
house.
Roger Dorn,
Yeah,
Corbin
yeah, yeah.
Burnson.
Yeah, they go to his house. That was like that's a local Milwaukee house too.
Oh no, that I didn't know.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, all filmed at the old Milwaukee Stadium, which is really
Yeah.
fucking really cool. But
So So one thing before we move on to your experience at an indie show last week.
Oh hell yeah!
So if you guys watched our show last week, first off, thank you. You probably remember that I was actually up in near Detroit with our boy the hot one. Check out shooting shit almost every Friday night. In fact, if you haven't already done so, please watch
Yeah,
the newest episode that dropped earlier
he
today.
blessed us with his presence.
Yeah, because he was a very hospitable host. He took very good care of me while I was up there. And for our wrestling fans out there, they'll appreciate this piece of memorabilia that I got when I got there. See, it's an autographed Pete Rose ball, but you look at that inscription there.
It's so good. Every single thing he inscribes, he won't do a custom autograph. He won't do anything else. If you get a Pete Rose autograph after his band, you get the sorry I bet on baseball.
But you know what though? It works. Like everybody
Yeah,
I shown that ball to or a
it's
picture to
so
has
good.
popped for it. Like
It's so
when I
good.
showed you and Shane in our show chat about when not long after I got it and stuff, I know you guys both popped.
Yeah, WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Should be
The
in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
my we talked we barely chatted before he jumped on. We kind of jumped right into this, but we one of the things we mentioned was pizza and pizza styles. And I lived in New York City, and the best pizza in the whole fucking world is uh on, I think it's on Bleecker. I think it's Mike's on Bleecker, and they have this old coal fire oven. It's like 140-year-old coal fire oven that they use to cook their pizzas.
Mm.
Incredible. It's like 500 and 700 degrees, something crazy. But they have a fucking Pete Rose autographed jersey on the wall, and
Okay.
it's an old autograph because it's just his name, and it's
Mhm.
old, and fucking it's been there my whole life. Which is, like the first time I went there was probably like, like 6 or 7 years old or whatever. But yeah. My whole life it's been on the wall. So
That's pretty cool. So
yeah.
yeah, so we talked a little bit about what I did this past weekend. Let's
Oh
talk.
my god.
Let's have you talk about what you did this past
I
week.
went to ETWA, which is Eastern Township Wrestling Alliance, which is a small, and I fucking cannot stress how fucking small, wrestling association out of the Eastern Townships of Quebec. So it's Canadian. They're Canadian, but they do the majority of their shows across the border, either in Derby, Vermont, or Newport, Vermont. They did have a fucking ladder match uh, show up in Canada. Not the last show, but the one before this. This show I went to on Saturday is their basically like their blow off show for their season, because
Hmm.
they just basically run from September to uh,
May,
basically to
May, June.
July
Okay,
or June. Yeah. I'm trying to think
okay.
what month it actually is, and then they take July and August off, and just because it gets a little hot, and I don't think they want to wrestle in that heat. But so they had a big blow off, and so at one of the last shows, Mullet Man and Jobs, who are probably like the two biggest names in the company, and just locally, like they're in a Green Mountain Wrestling too. They're just local wrestlers who
Hmm.
fucking have been doing it long enough where people like them. And so you got Mullet Man and Jobs has been the heel in all this, although what's really funny is when they go down to Green Mountain Wrestling, they're tag team partners. But they've been feuding for a while now in ETWA, which has been a lot of fun. And Jobs ended up beating Mullet Man for the championship a couple months ago, um, while Mullet Man's leg was under the rope, but the referee had gotten knocked in the head right before he made the count, so he was just kind of out of it. He didn't see it, so
Right, right.
and they don't reverse decisions in ETWA. So never.
The referee's decision is
It's
final.
final, yeah. So, um, Mullet Man lost his championship, even though he shouldn't have. So it built up, and I think they had a big match where there's some fucky shit happened. So they finally decided to have the last man standing match where the fans
Ooh.
bring the weapons.
Ooh,
Ah.
talk to us about some of those weapons.
So they basically had a table as you come in the door, and everyone put their weapons. I brought the tweezers, but they didn't get used, which was a bit of a bummer. But there was some good stuff. There was some really good stuff. There was a couple golf clubs. A golf club got bent over Jobs's back, which was pretty crazy. A guitar, trash can lid, Captain America's shield,
Nice.
a watermelon, a pineapple, a dog collar chain. Um, there was a couple other things too, but the I think the fucking coolest was the pineapple because he fucking Mullet Man went full fucking Roddy Piper coconut on his
And this
head with
wasn't
that
like a
thing.
hollowed out pine. This was like a solid
A
pineapple,
fan a
right?
fan brought it, man, and it fucking burst, dude. It burst on his head, which was really fucking dope. I mean, the thing just and the guitar, Mullet Man took 2 guitar shots to the head. Jobs got busted open pretty good. I mean, I honestly I thought I mean, for like what the level is that these guys are doing this at, it was probably the most entertaining and fun wrestling match I've seen live, and that's including WWE and any of that shit. Like it was like the most fun I've had at a match. And the coolest thing is, and I sent a little video to you guys, a couple
Yeah.
videos, but they have the entrance on the opposite of the hard cam, and then on the like in a U shape around they have the audience, but they had the fucking tables out for the front row. They had folding tables for everyone in the front row. So the folding tables they got used too. The match ended because finally Jobs's manager got in the way and fucking Mullet Man hit him. Jobs was behind him. They went through a table together, and the manager was
Mhm.
sprawled out on top of Jobs, and Jobs couldn't get him off him. And the 10 count. It was actually a pretty good finish for what they were doing. And Mullet Man got his championship back. Jobs was fucking bleeding like crazy. But yeah, having a fucking table at a wrestling show, bro, that shit is legit. Plus, there's a bar, so if you do want to drink, you can have your drink on the table. You can fucking just chill. Shane he liked it. I was like, I said I felt like one of the Saudis. And then he's like, yeah, I don't think Saudis get fucking plastic tables and plastic folding
No,
chairs.
no,
I'm
they
like,
don't.
whatever, man.
They got those.
It's
They got those nice little, almost like sofa sleepers or whatever or something.
dude, yeah. They probably got, and they're probably made of like 14 children just sitting there, like it's still as possible. But yeah, no, like it was a great show. The fucking Bring Your Own
Mhm.
Weapons match was great. There was a kid. They always have like an opening match that starts before the show
Mhm.
just to get the crowd warmed up. And
Oh yeah.
they had a kid who it was his first match. Apparently, that's what they said. And I
Mhm.
was like, Jesus Christ, if this is this kid's first match, like this kid could fucking go. Like I was really impressed. He wasn't like that big, but he was young and
Mhm.
he really went for it, man. And like the guy who was wrestling was pretty good too. Like you could tell he knew what he was doing. So it was like he had someone to walk him through it. But if that was his first match, and I'll find it on YouTube and I'll send it to you because they're gonna release those pretty soon.
Okay.
And it's worth checking out because I was like, if it is his first match, there's a lot of potential in that kid because I was like, holy shit, I'm like this is fucking really good. Like he's doing some good shit. Like it was pretty compelling. The guy who was wrestling was very funny. He he at some point he was doing something and fucking some little kid yells, "Yeah, in your dreams," and he looks down and this kid's like, "No one dreams of being a redhead." Because he's literally, I was like, God damn, bro. It was just great. Like, very good
That's
crowd work. But
awesome.
yeah, it was fun, man. I love indie wrestling. So,
It's a lot of fun too. I have a couple of one promotion that I try. They usually run shows once a month, and I try to go out there because I know a few of the talents that are on the show and stuff. So yeah, I love indie wrestling too because those men and women, they go out there and they put it all on the line, and
Hmm.
they're also way more interactive again, compared to like WWE, AEW, and all of them and stuff. And that's one of the things I really like is the
And then
interactivity.
and then they go. I mean, Mullet Man goes and works a fucking job. He works at like a local ski resort as like a fucking like just like a handyman and like lift attendant and all this shit. Like
Mhm.
they go and work their asses off too, and then they fucking do that. I think one of the other things outside of that match, the best thing is they had a tag team title match, and the tag team title holders, only one of them was there, uh, and the other one was injured. Um, so they were gonna have to forfeit the titles, right? If he
Mhm.
didn't come up with a partner, and the guys are like shit heels. They're like bad guys who will have the titles. And Mr. Crummels is one half of the tag team of it's Mr. Crummels and Sonny Defarge. And Sonny Defarge is hurt. He got hurt in the ladder match. But Mr. Crummels, yeah, he's like, I'll just pick someone out of the crowd, which is always fucking cool, right? So
Right.
he's going through, he's like, no, not you, not you. You over there with the hat and the glasses. And it's just some guy. He's like, what's your name? Jake. And it's some guy, Jake, right? Who's obviously a wrestler. And he went
Right.
out and fucking, like you had this great match where fucking Jake shows up and ends up, doing the hot tag in and and helping get the win, even though he gets the shit kicked out of him. And like Jake helps win the championship, even though he's not a yeah, it was just really fun. Shout out to Jake.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we got a few things to talk about tonight.
Let's
So we're
do
gonna
it.
so we're gonna talk about first off. Did you happen to get a chance to get caught up on what happened with Battleground?
I heard that, was it Oba? Is that his? He fucking, did your mic cut out? I can't hear you anymore. Hold on one second. Is it me or is it? Oh, I hear you again. Okay.
Okay,
I
I was gonna say my
okay.
mic's working. So
Oh, yeah, you're back. You're back. But yeah, I heard he whooped some ass, but I
yeah.
didn't get to catch up on any of it. It's just been I got a wedding I'm cooking for tomorrow, so I'm like on Saturday the
Ooh,
wedding is. So I've just been all over
I
the
hear
fucking
you.
place. Not enough time for
It was
wrestling.
it was a decent show. The women definitely were the MVPs of the show. I thought both actually all three women's matches were really good. The ladder match to crown the first women's North American champion was really good. My girl Sol Ruka unfortunately did not win, but I was very happy with for that Kalani Jordan won and stuff. And I mean, it's not often that someone gets to be the first, champion of a title. So I mean, that's something that'll stick with that person forever. And then you had arguably probably the best underground match they've ever done with Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice. And I mean that to me was the epitome of I think what they've always been trying to do with this underground thing, going back to when Shane McMahon was running it, like during the third hour of Monday Night Raw, and
Yeah.
then yet to be named Omos was like the doorman or whatever and stuff, yeah. And then obviously the cross promotional match between Jordan Grace and Roxanne
Mm.
Perez,
Who
was really
won?
good as well. Roxanne Perez won, but there were some shenanigans with Tatum Paxley who tried to steal Jordan Grace's TNA title. And then actually the former Dana Brooke, now known as Ash by Elegance, actually showed up as well too. And shout out to the commentary team. I think it was Vic Joseph who should get way more love than I think what he does because he is an amazing commentator. Had mentioned, hey, that's Dana, and then he caught him. It's like he caught himself, because he was going to call her by her,
Yep.
NXT ring name, and then he mid sentence he just changed it to Ash by Elegance, which again is what she goes by in TNA
Nice.
and stuff. So and it was like I said, an overall good show,
Dana
except the.
Brooke is underrated, man.
Mm-hmm.
Big time underrated.
Yeah, and there was some other good stuff too. The Trick Williams Ethan Page match was decent for what it was. And you mentioned Obafemi, who's looking
Ah,
as dominant as ever.
my
I
dude, I
mean,
love him. I don't
he's
think I fell in love with a wrestler quite as fast as him since Brock Lesnar.
yeah, he's pretty.
He has that.
He's going to be a special one.
I mean, and take us off the rail just a second. I think Brock Lesnar's debut and the way he was introduced is
Mhm.
probably the best introduction for any fucking wrestler ever.
Yeah,
I mean, the
he-
way he just came in. I mean, I remember that like him just mauling Spike Dudley,
yeah,
and then the shit with the Hardys, or he's taking chair shots to the face,
yeah,
and like they're and serious chair shots too.
yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
And
but
that's
yeah, I see a lot of that in him in Oba.
mhm.
I think he has that same potential.
Yeah, he's going to be something special if they keep up. Don't be surprised if he's within. In fact, here's a little bit of a 5-star hot take. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the main roster this time next year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think that is a pretty safe bet. I think he's easily, if not for any other way, but if they do the draft, will be one of the NXT draft call ups for
mhm.
sure.
Right.
If not somebody who shows up at Royal Rumble probably, you know what I
He
mean?
could, yeah. We actually have a someone that decided to finally show up. So
Oh shit, we get to do this. We get to use this shit
we get to use
finally.
this. So we're gonna
Oh
take
man.
a quick little break here. We're gonna take a quick little break here, and we're gonna bring him on. So we'll be right back.
Oh man, look at this. Look at you. Oh, I was gonna say you look more like Isaac than Isaac did.
Hi, Shane. Welcome.
Hey,
Thanks for
guys.
joining us.
Shane, what's up, dude? You liked NXT Battleground, didn't you?
I didn't watch the last 2 matches, but I did
Gotcha.
enjoy the first 4. My favorite part was Shayna Baszler after she got knocked out, trying to wrestle the referee, a la MMA fighter getting knocked out, completely loopy. It's one of the most genius sells I've seen in a long time, and I really liked it.
Well, right before you came on, I was telling Isaac I felt like this was by far the best underground match that they've put on, and I think this is kind of what they were going for when they launched the concept of underground, going back to Monday Night Raw during the COVID era, which Shane McMahon was running it like a fight club.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, but like that makes sense. I mean, because like Shayna Baszler is a MMA fighter, Lola Vice is an MMA fighter,
and it works, man. I mean, that's the thing is, it's like that makes sense. Like the shit they were doing on Raw with all that was,
yeah. I mean,
it was an idea, but it wasn't a well executed idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really like, to me, it's just that. Oh shit! Somebody wants to talk to me. To me, it's like just an extension of the Fight Pit deal, and like that shit always worked when it was Tim Thatcher and Matt Riddle, right? And like
Dude.
That was really good.
Like Tim Thatcher isn't an MMA fighter, but he's definitely
he's a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, he's
even the original one with, what was it? It was Shamrock and Owen.
Yes.
Yeah, in the Lions Den match.
They had the one in the cage at, was it at Mania? Was that a pay-per-view?
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It was SummerSlam 98, and it was a Lions Den match, which is basically kind of like that was their version of the Octagon, I believe.
But then they also had that match in Owen's basement.
That was just the dungeon match, and that was
Yeah.
a month before.
That was fucking crazy too, because that was just like, ooh, man. But yeah. No, when you do things like that with the right people and it makes sense, then go for it. But if it's just like Shane McMahon being like, yeah, we're gonna do this every week, and we're gonna have T-Bar show up, and
T-Bar versus what's the big motherfucker? I can't even remember.
Almost.
Yeah. Almost.
Yeah. But he's also a ninja.
Ninja one time.
A bike
Dude,
ninja.
I will never, ever, ever forget that clusterfuck, dude. With the ninjas and shit, dude.
Tozawa.
Yeah, Aaron and I were sitting on a couch in some Airbnb somewhere. It was in Columbus. I think it was like we were going to Louisville or something the day after, but she had come down like an extra day, so we were chilling at Airbnb, and I was not in the correct state of mind, by multiple avenues. I won't divulge those avenues, but one of them's right here.
Is that the peach?
Mhm.
Is the peach
Ooh.
good?
No, not really. Honestly, like it gives me a hangover every time I drink it, and I'm just like trying to power through it.
Gotcha.
But I was sitting there, man, and I'm just watching it, and I was like, dude, am I like sleeping?
Is this real?
Am I tripping? Like I really shouldn't be. Like I've done nothing to do that. I'm like, but there's no way this is real fucking life. And then the ninjas came, and I was like,
Dude.
it can't be real. And I was like, holy shit, look at that big ass ninja. Ninjas can't
I
be.
think we were all texting at that point. I mean, if we find the date, we could probably find the exchanges because that shit was bananas. And we were like, what the fuck is happening right
It was
now?
awesome.
I mean, it was just like a Vince fever dream where he's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny, pal, if we got this big guy and made him a ninja? You know what that sounds like, pal.
Like the crazy shit
That sounds
was
like such good shit.
such good shit, pal. But like the craziest shit is it would just randomly happen. Like, wasn't there no reason for that to even be happening in that match? Like, was it it was a cinematic match as a whole, right? Or no?
I don't even
No, they
remember
tried
what
to.
that.
I don't think it was necessarily a cinematic match. It was more or less. I think they just tried to kind of film it almost more in like a gritty underground style. But I don't think it was necessarily.
Oh, okay. I mean, again, I'm not saying that I was in the greatest frame of mind, that so I don't remember like the match very much, but I sure do remember the wacky cutouts. But the one way I would improve the underground match is I would take the lumberjacks out, man. Like just do a bump onto the ground. Like honestly, like if you're not gonna do a cage for it, like I don't know. The lumberjacks kind of make it a little funky for me because they're always catching people and
right.
generally positively interfering.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think it's the of all the fucking things, I think it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't make sense in the context. It kind of made sense in the context of what they were doing for the Monday Night Raw shit, but I think ultimately, like, yeah, it makes it feel less real for some reason.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I don't
just
know,
do it blood sport style, man.
Yeah. So one of the things we were also talking before you come on, we mentioned Battleground and stuff, and then we talked a little bit about the Jordan Grace Roxanne Perez match and the shenanigans that kind of went on during the end of that match. And this kind of leads me into my next topic: is we've seen TNA stars now in NXT, and TNA's actually got a big weekend coming up here in Chicago. I won't be there because I've got family coming in. I'll be spending time with the family this weekend and stuff. So, do you think we're going to see any NXT superstars either at Against All Odds, which I believe is, again, as of when this episode drops later tonight, or possibly at the TNA Impact, the TNA TV tapings that are the next day?
I mean, I almost think you kind of have to, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they got to continue what they're
I
doing.
mean,
I think
they gotta send they gotta send somebody. Like, I don't think it's gonna be anybody too like big to begin with.
Right.
Well, even with the fucky-ish finish with the Jordan Grace stuff, you just have that play out.
Yeah,
Have the
I feel
lady
like
those ladies show up and
yeah, and I
you do
feel
a
like
little
that.
business.
And I feel like because Jordan Grace is supposed to have an open challenge match, and I would definitely not be surprised to see Tatum Paxley show up as her challenger. I think,
Hmm.
to kind of play off the story about what happened at at Battleground.
Yeah, I mean, that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also think that you start seeing a couple like promising young guys that they just don't have a lot of room for right now popping up on TNA. Somebody like Josh Briggs.
Yeah.
Um,
Former partner Brooks Jensen's been doing some sort of angle where he's trying to get time or something. I guess he showed up unannounced at an indie show. I think it was last weekend, and so I mean that could be someone you could see as well too.
That's pretty cool. Oh, how about? I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with it, but how about EO wrestling a match for Marigold? That's the promotion that broke off a Stardom, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's it.
The new one, the brand new one. That
Yeah.
that the guy, he got fired and he just
Yes.
like, well, all right, and all the fucking wrestlers quit and went to work with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. You know what? That's pretty cool. And this is stuff that
awesome.
2-3 years ago would have been a pipe dream, under the Vince regime. But it just goes to show that Triple H gets it.
I mean, it's almost to the point where like the occasional WWE wrestler popping up on another show, you're like, oh, that's cool, but like it's not even shocking anymore, which is like a great thing. But like, I remember the first couple times it happened, and I was like, holy shit, like that's unbelievable.
Dude, when was it Jordan Grayson? She showed up to I guess when
the Royal Rumble.
When Mickey James, because that was the year before Mickey James showed up at the Rumble.
Well, the difference between those two, Mickey James, I believe, was announced. Jordan Grace was a surprise.
Yeah, but she did show up with the TNA title.
Yeah, and I mean that was still really cool, and they acknowledged her as a TNA.
Which
TNA
was, you're like,
champion.
oh shit, and that was,
like,
I think
really
that was the
cool.
first time
the NXT ring announcer announced Jordan Grace as TNA Knockouts champion.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
And that's the thing is like you kind of have to, if there are all these places popping up, like it's best to work with them because you're going to make more money, like
right, and you're going to get your talent more exposure under a different style, which could only do nothing but just benefit these talents.
I mean, that's what the territory systems were good for, is like you can do shit in front of new audiences and yeah, I mean, you can't really recreate it, but you could do something new that takes some of those aspects and highlights them.
Right. So speaking of talents going elsewhere, it was Ricochet went out and announced that he's finishing up with WWE this summer, and once his contract expires, he's gone. And then if you watch Monday Night Raw, you saw how they potentially wrote him off the show as he got destroyed by Braun Breaker and stuff. So the question I'm going to ask you guys, it's a two-parter. Where will Ricochet wind up? But like the second part is where should he go?
I think the obvious answer is he ends up somewhere in the AEW, mid card of sludge. But what I think he should do is that dude needs to do the Mustafa Ali deal. Fucking do all the indies, do all the big name indies, make a shitload of money, pop to Mexico for 6 months, pop to Japan for 6 months. I mean, on those like American dates for New Japan, love booking random American wrestlers on those shows that have nothing to do with New Japan as a product. They love doing that shit. But yeah, I mean, again, he could just go everywhere, wrestle everybody. And then, 2.5 years down the line, 3 years down the line, if he's still, going and wants to do it. Hello, WWE. How about you pay me more money?
Feature him more prominently. You could go around Drew McIntyre.
I want to see him put the mask back on, dude.
Well, bro, that's never going to happen because Lucha Underground is dead.
No, it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be Prince Puma. I'm just saying. I think like he should just change it up and go full luchador and be somebody else.
No, that's your 5-star take, and then I'll say.
I don't
I
necessarily
would
agree with that.
I would
because,
love
I don't.
that.
Yeah,
Give it
I
and
don't.
just go out and fucking just kill it. And like you can get booked, but I mean, I don't know. I loved his work as Prince Puma. I think he fucking can
Oh
be
yeah,
great under a mask. And I think it works with the idea of going out and being able to work Japan, work Mexico, work all over the place. And then you
I
can
mean,
tag.
he can do that without the mask on, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I like him with the mask, man.
Are you trying to say he's ugly?
No, he's very handsome. Yeah.
And you
And
know,
hung. Dude,
yeah. I mean,
BDT.
goodness.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's a 5-star take, but it's a hot one. I
Um,
would love to see him go back under the mask.
but I mean, I just think that like because he's so handsome, right, and because he has such like a crowd friendly style and he smiles and all that, he's perfect to just go to every indie and be a babyface champion and put butts in seats.
Yep.
I kind of like that. I was thinking more along like I said. I think he, it seems like it's a pretty surefire. He's going to wind up in AEW because he's going to get that. Ospreay wants to do another match with him, which don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but then what, and that's kind of why I like Shane's idea about, going the Mustafa Ali or going the Matt Cardona route, just doing all the indies and everything. Because
He's good enough.
He can command a pretty hefty price tag.
And
the crowds are coming to see him.
Good.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Or he could do the penultimate. I just got fired from WWE strategy following Scripps, Reggie's guidance. Go to Game Changer Wrestling, baby. Everybody who gets released from WWE should go straight to GCW and do like 6 months to a year just to prove what kind of person they are in the ring.
I mean, and my guess is he's probably got a good chunk of money saved up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like he's probably put some money away. And so he can afford to be an indie king for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, honestly, he should be just out there. I mean, if it wasn't for Samantha Irving, he should be doing porn, dude.
Yeah, but why are you going to do porn when you can go home to
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it wasn't for Samantha Irving, unless she's into that kind of
yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, we don't know anything about what could be going on. I mean, you're making assumptions over there.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why he wears the mask. He wears the mask for his other his other shoots.
And that's why you're so interested in it, man. Yep. Everything is
a lot.
Yeah, everything is
tie that up with a neat little bow. All right.
So apparently, apparently Isaac's looking forward to. Yeah, he's wearing a Mullet Mania shirt.
Dude, he's got a mullet time one that it looks like Miller time, which is great.
Ooh,
Isaac, can you give me a 1 minute review of the Mullet Man versus Jobs Last Man Standing match?
We talked about it earlier, but yeah, give him a
I mean, it was great. It was fucking awesome. They beat the hell out of each other in the ring for a few minutes. They did some stuff outside. They threw them around in tables, and then they were like, "Let's get the weapons." There was some good stuff, man. There was some great stuff. There was golf clubs that got bent, guitars that got smashed, chairs that got used, a lot of blood. A pineapple boot, fucking straight to the dome of Jobs, full exploding pineapple all over the place. Mullet Man took some water, like a half a watermelon to the head, which smelled.
I mean, what's up with all the fruit related offense?
I don't know, dude, but it was great. Honestly, it was great. Like, can you imagine getting fucking smoked in the dome with a pineapple? He had him. Oh, I didn't even tell you, DDJ. I forgot to mention this. They went back into the kitchen, towards the kitchen of the place, and they got 2 pairs of tongs. And Mullet Man fucking had Jobs by the nipples with the tongs, and was cranking on Jobs' nipples.
Man, the crowd was popping, huh?
Oh,
the people loved it.
And then Jobs broke free and got the tongs and went straight for Mullet Man's dick and gave him the old dick twist.
Oh, yeah, man, and the people were going even crazier.
I was like, oh, my God, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude. It was incredible. Yeah, that's my 1 minute review. And Mullet Man got his championship back after
Oh,
knocking
Hold on.
knocking Jobs through a table, but the manager went through the table on top of him. So Jobs was behind him, so they both went through the table.
Hold on,
Manager
no,
landed on him,
Oh, never mind.
and manager like was out cold, and Jobs couldn't get the 10 count because he couldn't get out of under the table and under the manager. And
Oh,
so
wow.
Mullet Man got his championship back, and it was a
Dude,
great time.
that's shades of who was it? Was it the Rock pinning Mankind with a forklift or
Mankind pinned The
Mankind
Rock.
pinning The Rock.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it was
Oh,
good.
yeah,
But
because the
it
camera
was-
angle.
Yeah, most fun I've ever had at a match. It was the most fun
Yeah,
match I've
sounds
ever
like
watched.
it.
They went fucking ape shit, and the tables, having a table. I said this earlier, man. Having that table ringside was so nice.
Yeah,
So nice.
the last GCW show I went to, they just had like 2 round tables, like on the back of like the padded area that had like the Valleydale Ballroom was founded in 1868. It's in an old fucking ballroom. It's ancient. Like a lot of high schools and stuff used to have like their graduations there. They still run like senior, just dancing nights. It's crazy. They sell beer off the cart. But they had a couple just like circular tables that just had like about the venue and just like, please be nice to it. Don't fuck anything up, please, for the love of God. It's older than you. But I was standing there, I was like, man, that's a good place to put my beer. Yeah, before I was viciously assaulted.
Oh,
yeah.
by Mance Warner.
Mance fucking Warner, that bastard. Yeah, you know what's interesting is GCW is only 2 letters away from ECW. Did you know that?
I did know that. I know my
Yeah.
alphabet.
And speaking of letters, did you know that it was 19 years ago?
On
Night
Wednesday.
stand.
I mean, also, I think that it's only 1 letter away.
No, EFG. That's 2 letters, isn't it?
EFG.
Yeah. You got to go through the letter. You got to start. You got to start where you're starting. That's 1 letter, and then you go to the next one. That's 2 letters, and then you're where you need to be.
What the fuck
2
are you
letters.
talking about?
It's math, just like 19 years is math.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially gone into Sesame Street mode.
What was that? But yeah, ECW One Night Stand 19 years ago.
Shane, I'm so glad you're here because nobody can talk about this pay-per-view like you.
Oh, it's my favorite pay-per-view of all time. I love
Really
this
good
show
one.
so fucking much. And on Such Good Shoe, we did a full review of it. So I'll try and keep my loving to a bare minimum. But it is just so good. Like top to bottom, it is the embodiment of what I imagined ECW and what being able to watch just ECW shows live and whatnot, really being involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch this show, I'm like, man, it's exactly like this is exactly what I imagined that would be like. It is a poignant love letter to that whole promotion. It was clear Paulie booked the entire thing. It was clear Vince literally did not give a shit about it and probably wanted it to fail.
And I believe it ended up being one of their, in terms of how much it generated with like ticket sales and pay-per-view buys, one of their more, I believe, profitable shows ever.
In one of the top 5 crowds all time.
Yeah, I mean,
It's up there.
I mean, that crowd in France was fucking pretty incredible. That was up there.
Yeah.
But it's such different things.
Sure.
Though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, that was the thing, is it was just special.
Yeah,
really you can tell it's special because here we are 19 years later being like, hey, remember that one fucking basically one-off ECW WWE pay-per-view?
They still at shows and stuff, they still chant ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and just like to this day, right? You don't normally see very super hostile WWE crowds. You get the the booing of the heels and whatnot. You don't typically see super hostile crowds. Though I'm talking about the the fuck you Cardona, beer and trash rioting GCW crowd. Or like Mexico, right, where kayfabe is still a lot more real, and you get some really passionate crowds, there against some wrestlers. This crowd was so crazy, especially for the time period. I mean, the middle fingers, the chants with "fuck" in them, or pussy, right? Like you just don't hear that a lot.
No, it's
Love
a different
pussy.
time. It's a different time.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing though, is the ECW crowd is timeless. Like
I mean,
every crazy crowd that is like super hostile and very vulgar, that's all remnants of ECW, man. It's
when did I
Silver.
become the Silver Wolf?
Somebody's screwing
Yeah.
around with us here.
Yeah, they are sons of bitches. Yeah, you hear me. You hear me. But yeah, I gotta say, and this might be my 5-star take of the day. ECW is the most important and influential wrestling federation of all time.
I agree.
I don't
we're
think
ki-
any. I don't think
yeah.
any. I mean, you can. The NWA did its thing forever, but I don't think anything really changed wrestling to the degree that it's been changed more than ECW.
Um, I
And then through
definitely
Paul
agree.
Heyman.
And I think AEW, and we'll kind of start rapid firing. So got a couple more things to talk about here, and we're going to kind of go maybe rapid fire with these and stuff. But AEW, tried to be the same type of alternative what ECW was, and for a little bit it was, but obviously it's not anymore. But ECW is really the only true alternative that we've ever seen. I mean, think about everything, all of that WCW borrowed from EC, what WWE continues
Yeah.
to borrow from ECW and
I
stuff.
mean, you can see what happens if you actually give Paul Heyman some freedom to have creative and have enough money where he doesn't have to like do stupid shit to his talent.
Well, if he has
You
enough
know?
money, then the wrestlers end up not getting paid and shit, though. So
Well, no, I'm just saying like he's like the money is WWE's. Like you can see in WWE his influence, right? Like it's
yeah.
crazy. So yeah, no, I think Paul Heyman and ECW were one of the best things that have ever happened to pro wrestling.
Agreed. Speaking of things that are go ahead, Shane, real quick.
No. I just wanted to say real quick. I know we're gonna rapid fire, but if I talk about One Night Stand, I have to talk about Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. That match
What a match.
fucking rules. The whole thing. There's about 16 unprotected headshots. There's I mean, there's Masato Tanaka getting fucking powerbombed from the ring through a table on the outside. Mike Awesome
Crazy.
doing the craziest dive you have ever seen. I mean, he just spikes himself
It's
directly
insane.
on top. The camera totally misses it when he jumps out, so he just comes into frame out of nowhere.
Yes. Oh, I remember watching it the last time with
no.
you and just being like,
No, I'll never forget it. You were like, holy fuck, was that Mike Awesome? Yeah.
out of nowhere, boom.
That's a 5-star match, and that's
Every
my
time.
probably
time.
not 5-star take of the night, but
it's true. It's
it's
true.
the best.
we got a couple things here. So we have another big event coming this weekend, Clash at the Catch. So real quick, give me one thing that you guys are looking forward to. I'm going to start off. I'm really looking forward to it because I think this is finally where we see the payoff of the angle with the Alpha Academy and Sami Zayn stuff. I think Otis finally.
Yeah.
I hope it's Otis finally be like, you know what, I'm done with this, and he just turns on Gable, because that crowd is gonna, especially in Scotland, that crowd is gonna go batshit crazy if he does.
Oh
that.
yes. Yep. I the match I'm looking forward to the most, honestly, which would, if I had said this, if I listened to myself say this maybe even 6 months ago, I probably think I was crazy.
Mhm.
But I'm so stoked for Drew Mack and fucking
Damian
Damian.
Priest.
Yep. They have done such a good job building up to this. I'm like, I want to watch. I want to see. I want to see what happens. Drew Mack is fucking great. I think Priest is good enough where Drew Mack can really carry him far, and I think they're gonna put on a fucking banging match.
Oh,
And you know what I
absolutely.
can't wait to see? And Isaac, you're gonna shit in your pants. I can't wait for CM Punk to come out and screw Drew and be the biggest heel in the entire universe. To those particular fans, right? They are going
Yep.
to lose their minds,
Mhm.
and we might see a WWE trash riot. I mean, I you know,
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna hate it, right? Because CM Punk absolutely sucks. And
He's
in
so good.
in
I-
Drew rules. But I'm
He does
excited
rule.
to see the crowd get really mad.
And I think yeah, I mean ultimately it leads to Drew versus CM Punk at Mania for the title probably, and Drew retains. But yeah, I'm excited. The build to CM Punk versus Drew Mack has been incredible. I think they've done an insanely good job of it. But I also am a huge CM Punk fan. But the whole thing has also made me into an even bigger Drew McIntyre fan because I think he's been fucking at the best he's ever been.
I agree there. He's been
Man,
on fire, especially when it comes to
Incredible.
social media. He's just been killing it.
Yeah, but just his promos is the last piece
Mhm.
that he was missing, really, and he just stepped up a whole nother level.
well, I mean, like the thing is like this version of Drew where he's able to just be a large, intimidating man. And let me tell you, Drew's a large, intimidating man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all he has to do is just be mad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and have some
And
freedom to be
you know, again, it
himself.
just works. But the thing with Drew and promo is he's legitimately funny sometimes as well. Like he's one of those guys that I think could very easily flip back and forth, you know, baby face and heel and have no trouble, you know, either direction. So
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
all right, DDJ, what's how many more topics we got?
We got a
What's
couple
next?
more here. We're gonna touch on this week. 9 years ago on Tuesday, we lost the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Give me just something about Dusty that you'll always remember.
It's a bicycle. He got a bicycle. One of my favorite calls of all time. He got a bicycle. Incredible.
My biggest memory of Dusty Rhodes will probably be I was at Money in the Bank that year in Columbus, like one day after he died. You know, I got to see kind of like the 10 bell salute and the whole video package, you know, kind of live. You know, it's just one of those things where I was like, man, this is like, you know, a really interesting experience in real life and not just watching it on the screen. It was very interesting. But Dusty Rhodes, as far as his work goes, probably my favorite is ECW actually. He had a bull rope match with Steve Corino.
Yeah.
And bro, Dusty whooped the piss out of him the whole match. Steve Corino bled probably top 5% I've ever seen in a match. Dusty, of course, bled. It was just an old fucking guy working this new, you know, hot shit talent. Crowd was going crazy. You know, Steve Corino ended up winning, right, DDJ?
I believe so. I don't remember because it's been so long since I watched that.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time.
But yeah, just for me with that, I mean, and here now, you know, the story about why he was in ECW. You know, basically the family was broken, stuff. You know, and basically Heyman stepped in and brought him in, and you know, Cody Rhodes. You know, I think it was in the lead up to, I believe it was WrestleMania 39. You know, he talked about that in the promos with Paul Heyman and stuff, you know, and just kind of just puts on a little bit extra significance. For me, you know, obviously I always think about you know, him Dusty versus Flair, Dusty versus the, you know, the Horseman, You know, when they beat him up in the parking lot, and broke his hand.
Mm.
He broke it. They broke his leg after he saved Flair from the Russians. Obviously, the hard time promos. But the one thing I'm going to talk about is just we all hear about Dusty Rhodes, but it's just amazing that he continues to leave. He has such an impact on the action that we're seeing today, because you see people like Bayley, you see Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and all the people that he worked with when he was
Cody.
down in NXT. Cody, Finn Balor, and some of the talents in AEW as well. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are where they are because of Dusty Rhodes. So I think that's kind of just that he's still around and he's still there in spirit.
And one of my all-time favorite intro songs too. Love that shit.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one. And
so good. That cowbell, donk, 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 donk. He's just a common man. Yeah,
all right,
very good.
So last topic, and then we got one more thing to do before we wrap up. Or do you want to do that one thing now and save the last topic, Isaac?
No, let's do this last topic, and then
All right,
I'll because
we'll
I got to. Oh, I remember now.
Okay, so obviously this weekend's Father's Day and stuff, and obviously just talk about there's dads in wrestling. I mean, we talk about Dusty Rhodes. I mean, you got Cowboy Bob Orton, who was the father of Randy Orton. Gory Guerrero, dad to the Guerreros. Jim Neidhart was
Big Kishi.
Rikishi. With the Usos and Solo and stuff. And I mean, it's really just crazy.
You got Eddie
Guerrero,
and Dominic.
Yeah. You got The Rock with Ava.
Oh, don't. No.
What do you?
Ava is fine, dude. You are such a hater for no reason.
She's killing it as a GM right now.
I mean, I don't think she's killing it, but like, NXT is just kicking right now. It's just working.
Yes, she's lucky that the product is as good as it is. It's not because of her though; it's despite her.
Wow. Tell me where the bad man hurt you.
She just, I don't know, dude. She just doesn't. She doesn't do it for me in any way. I think she's. Yeah, I don't think she's got it.
He picks about one wrestler every about 6 months. I mean, and it's just.
Some people bother me. You just stick with CM Punk, man. You stick with CM Punk. I'll stick with Ava. That's And the other one, who else I don't like is, and I stick with her, is fucking Nia Jax. She's terrible too.
I don't think anybody really likes Nia Jax, dude.
Well, give Ava time. We'll get there.
Oh, geez.
But yes, dad's in wrestling. That's still Eddie Guerrero, best dad in wrestling.
Best dad in wrestling.
All right, Isaac. You think it's time?
What was it? Whose baby was it that Snitsky kicked?
Lita?
Lita's.
Yeah. So was that Edge?
No,
it was Kane's.
It was Kane.
Kane, worst dad in wrestling.
No.
McMahon.
No, I can think of a much worse dad in wrestling, man.
Well, we don't talk about him.
I just
he
sorry.
Shall not be named.
I just think about bad dads in wrestling. I mean, and one came to mind pretty quick.
Yeah, you're right. Pixar, it never happened. DDJ, Cameron Grimes. You got a picture with Cameron Grimes?
Hold on.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Pixar, it never happened. Cue the music. It's time for Pix or It Didn't Happen with Isaac. Hey, that's me. That's me. Cameron Grimes to the moon, baby.
Do I have a picture with Cameron Grimes?
And finally,
a little bit of a background story. The story behind that here as we wrap up. That was actually taken, I believe, at one of the last independent shows he did before he signed with NXT when he was still known as Trevor Lee.
Oh wow! That's cool. I was gonna say he looked a little more rugged.
Yeah, no, that was, I believe, like I said, one of the last shows he
That's
did,
awesome.
indie shows he did before he reported to NXT.
Well, fuck yeah, dude. Well, I don't want to keep the hot one waiting because then he's gonna call me the Silver Wolf again, and I'm not the silver guy. Okay,
Nobody's
I'm
a silver guy.
the silver guy.
No, you're just Isaac.
Just Isaac, man. I'm just me,
And
dude.
you're, and you're
Mullet-
just Shane.
I'm Mullet Man's #1 fan, dude.
That's something to be proud of.
I love the
Coming
man.
soon to a 5-Star Takes episode. We're gonna get Mullet Man on.
We're gonna
with
get
us.
Mullet Man on with us. We're gonna talk to Mullet Man. We're gonna get him in here. We'll do the same thing. We'll just ask Mullet Man's take on shit too, man. We'll just include him, and then we'll ask him some questions like
You think we could
what
get
was it like?
Microman on here?
Huh?
You think we could get Microman on here?
I mean,
That would be
yeah.
awesome.
We'd have to, we'd have to see if we get a short enough time slot for him. But
Oh God!
hey,
There went that guest. You know what? We're good night, guys.
On that note, I've been Isaac.
That's Shane over there, and
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
I'm sorry, guys.
I gotta go to bed.
Love you all.
We'll do better next week.
No, we're gonna do incredible next week.
God damn you, Isaac.
What? That was a good one. We're still going. We're still recording, aren't we?
Yeah, but we got to do this. Is our little obligatory post-credit scene.
Gotcha. We're post-crediting. All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll try to I'll try to do better next week.
Next time, don't come up so short.
Yeah, a joke fell short, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's, short.
Just a bit outside.
Hey now.
Legends of the Ring Sting, man. This is a great figure, old school figure. Looks great. It's Sting! Old school Sting from WCW. Guys, you know us, 3/4 of the Shooting Shit team, and we're here with a listener just like you guys. This is Jimmy from Super Powers Comics.
My friend of almost 20 years. He's known him since you were 12.
If you know people in Chicago, you probably know Dennis because he knows half the town, of course. But shooters, if you need action figures, comics, wrestling memorabilia, we just showed you Sting. Superpowers Comics will put up their QR code so you can get a good look at everything they have coming. Give it a shot, shooters. Get your superpowers on and get your comics from our friend Jimmy, who listens just like you.
Attention wrestling fans and fans of Shootin' Shit podcasts. You can now be one of the cool kids by going to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy the official Shootin' Shit t-shirt. Buy it now and be there at ringside.
Be sure to check us out on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@SHOOTINGSHT. Find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/groups/SHOOTINSHT. Check us out on TikTok at SHOOTINSHIT. And you can buy your official Shootin' Shit shirt at www.ProWrestlingTees.com/SHOOTINSHT. And thanks for watching.